What's up guys? So in today's video, we're gonna take a look and see if one of the cheaper DSLRs or mirrorless cameras out there is better than the best webcam. So the original video that you saw is being shot on a Canon M50 mirrorless DSLR. It's right around a $500 camera. They even have a newer version, the Mark II, which is slightly better and is right around $550 to $600. Now, the webcam that you're seeing, the video is being shot on a Logitech BRIO, which is one of the only 4K webcams that is out there. Now, both of these are being shot at 1080p, mainly because the Canon is only able to deliver 24 FPS at that 4K resolution, and it does get quite a bit choppy when shooting at 4K, and the autofocus is also a little bit slow at that resolution, while the Logitech will deliver 30 FPS at 4K and pretty much maintain some really good autofocus along the way. Now let's jump into some of the pros and cons of shooting on both a DSLR or a webcam. So let's first talk about connectivity. So when it comes to a DSLR, specifically Canon's, you're going to most likely have to use their EOS Webcam utility, which allows you to connect a DSLR over micro USB to your PC and use it as a webcam. The alternative is to use a capture card and connect that over HDMI. However, when it comes to actually capturing that video, there's the autofocus box that shows up around the person's face, and that is going to be captured as well when using an HDMI connection versus using the EOS webcam utility. Now, this might differ slightly by manufacturer, whether you're using Sony or Panasonic or any of those other manufacturers. There's going to be a little bit of quirks in terms of how you're connecting it in order to use it as a webcam. Whereas with the Logitech, it's all USB-C, directly connected over USB to your PC. Now, if you use USB 2.0, you're limited to 1080p. However, if you have a USB 3.0 or newer in terms of type A connection on your PC, then you'll get to that 4K 30 FPS resolution and frame rate that really allows the BRIO to stand apart from all of the other webcams out there. Now, when it comes to color performance and just overall performance in general, I'll let you guys judge for yourselves. But of course, you're getting the full performance of a DSLR, which is going to give you quite good color accuracy, especially coming from a Canon, as well as really, really good autofocus when tracking an image or tracking a person in frame. Now, with the Logitech BRIO, color is still pretty good. Autofocus is as well. But in my opinion, it's nowhere near the quality of a Canon DSLR. Now, if you're using this specifically just as a webcam, you're using it for Zoom meetings or whatever, the Logitech BRIO is going to be perfectly fine. But if you're using it for, let's say, streaming or anything like that, where you might go full screen when it comes to video, then a DSLR is probably the better bet for you when it comes to color performance and just overall video accuracy coming from the DSLR. Now, there still are some limitations of using a DSLR, specifically if you want to use a program like, let's say, NVIDIA Broadcast, which is able to then take and blur out the image behind you, give you some noise reduction capabilities as well. So if we open up NVIDIA Broadcast, I'll show you exactly what we see if we're using the Canon versus the Logitech BRIO. So in NVIDIA Broadcast, when we select the Logitech BRIO, we're greeted with 4K 30 FPS as an option. And we're also greeted with a whole bunch of other resolutions and frame rates, including 1920 by 1080 at 60 FPS. But when we switch over to the EOS webcam utility, we're stuck at 1024 by 576 at 30 FPS. And the last point I want to make is on microphone quality. So when it comes to the Logitech BRIO, you get dual mics right on the front of the webcam, and it sounds pretty good. However, with a DSLR, you can use whatever microphone you want. So in this case, I'm using a Rode VideoMic Go, which is a smaller shotgun microphone, but you can use any quality mic that you want. It's of course going to raise the price overall of your video capture setup. But if we're just going to use the basic microphone on the Canon, you can judge for yourself, but the Logitech BRIO sounds a little bit better than what you're going to get out of your DSLR. And finally, there's a couple other things that really set a webcam apart from a DSLR when it comes to using it every single day. The first one being specific to the Logitech BRIO and some other webcams is Windows Hello facial recognition. So when you hook this thing up, you can actually use the Logitech BRIO as a Windows Hello facial recognition camera, and you'll just be able to log in to your desktop PC using your webcam. Another really nice feature of a webcam is just the ease of use and just being able to have it set up all of the time, whereas a DSLR, you're most likely either going to have to mount it off the back of your PC or set up a tripod on your desk behind your screens. It's just a little bit easier, of course, to just have the webcam posted up on your screen versus a DSLR, which might require you to take it on and take it off. But if you're using a DSLR not just as a webcam, but you're taking pictures, you're using it for video on the go, then that's obviously going to be the better bet than a webcam, which is stationary. You're going to use it on your PC specifically as a webcam. So after going through those pros and cons, the Logitech BRIO, one of the best webcams out there, is probably going to suffice for most people that are using it as a webcam. The image quality is great, sound quality pretty good, color accuracy also performs really well. But for those of you that either want the best of the best when it comes to video quality as well as sound quality, and also want to use their camera on the go, or also just take pictures and take stills, then a cheaper DSLR is probably the better option for you. But I'd really like to hear your guys' comments down below. Which one would you go for? Either a cheaper DSLR or one of the more expensive webcams out on the market? Definitely leave those down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, get subscribed to the channel and turn on post notifications so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one.